There are places around the world where it rains fire and water, where entire lakes spontaneously burst into flames. No, this isn't a scene from a fantasy movie. It's reality, and it happens in places like the Bioluminescent Lagoon in Puerto Rico or the glowing lakes of Kashmir. But what's really going on here? What makes these lakes and lagoons glow? The answer is microbes. Specifically, there are tiny, single-celled organisms called dinoflagellates, and there are two main types that make up the bioluminescence we see in these bodies of water. The first type contains dinoflagellates that glow blue, and this is by far the most common type. These microbes contain a pigment called chlorophyll, which is what gives them their color. And when they're exposed to sunlight, they use it as energy to photosynthesize. But then at night, when they're no longer exposed to sunlight, they start to glow. That's because they have a chemical reaction inside of them that creates light. It's the same chemical reaction that's in fireflies, and it's used to either scare off predators or attract mates. Now, some dinoflagellates don't glow blue, but instead red. And these microbes have a different chemical reaction that creates a different color of light. But they also need sunlight during the day to give them energy. And just like the blue ones, they use that energy to glow at night. But why would they do that? Well, it turns out red light is much better at penetrating water than blue light. So if you're a dinoflagellate and you're deep down in the water, you're not going to get very much blue light. So instead, you glow red to attract mates. And in some cases, like in the bioluminescent bay in Puerto Rico, you can actually see both blue and red light. That's because there are dinoflagellates near the surface that are glowing blue and dinoflagellates deeper down that are glowing red. Now, if you ever go to one of these amazing places, here are a few tips to help you shoot great video of them in total darkness. First, bring a tripod and a shutter release so you don't have to touch your camera while you're taking the shot. Even the smallest amount of movement can ruin a long exposure shot in the dark. Second, use a wide-angle lens so you can capture as much of the scene as possible. Third, use a neutral density filter to darken the shot. If it's too bright out, you won't be able to get a good exposure. And finally, use a long exposure anyway. The longer the exposure, the more light will be captured, and the brighter the image will be. Thanks for watching.